Welcome to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling. You are about to discover impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you, so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Be sure you visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now tune in, get ready, and enjoy the journey of emerging as a leader of exception in the 21st century.
Welcome, everyone, to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Noethling, coming to you from Roswell, Georgia. The goal of this podcast is to bring topics and guests that will empower you to become that confident leader and take your business and your life to the next level. Today, I am very excited to have Pramoda Vyasarao as my guest. I'll get it right. I'm so sorry. Let me tell you about Pramoda. He is the founder of Changesmith Coaching, LLC. And he has a rich background in computer science and boasts over 2 decades of experience with tech giants like Oracle and Meta. Beginning his career as an engineer and eventually transitioning into management, he recognized the importance of structured leadership development. This realization spurred his journey into leadership coaching. With 17 years of coaching experience, Pramoda has made a significant impact on thousands of individuals across 11 countries. He specializes in fostering personal growth for senior leaders through one-on-one coaching and cohort-based courses that focus on communication, leadership, and storytelling. Residing in California, he lives with his wife, Anusha, their son, Samyak, and their Sukata tortoise. So you got to tell me what this tortoise is. His name is Taco. Awesome name. Today we're going to talk about lead yourself to lead others. Great advice. Please join me in welcoming my guest, Pramoda Vyasarao. I'll say it 50 times and I'll still get it wrong. You are welcome to mispronounce my last name. I'm so sorry. All right. So we have always easy questions for you, Pramoda. And the first one is, where do you call home? You said California, but where in California? Southern, northern, what part?
I'm in Northern California, Redwood City, California, about 20 minutes from the SFO airport.
Oh, I love that area. So good. Spent some time there for sure.
Lovely weather.
Well, in Georgia right now, it's pretty lovely too. It's only we had a cold front come through and it's only in the upper 70s, kissing 80s.
Nice.
So we gave a little bit of your background, and very impressive background, but talk to us about, what was that pivotal moment? You, like I, spent a good bit of time in that role where we were being led. But when did you have that moment that said, you know what? I think things could be different, and I'd like to teach people how to do it differently, coach them.
Yeah. Let me tell you what changed my life before I tell you how I help other people. So I joined Oracle in India back in 2002, January 2002. And my biggest struggle at Oracle was being an engineer to communicate to business stakeholders. I was exceptionally good in my area, which is coding and writing programs, but I was not really good in communicating ideas to people. The other challenge was English was my third language. I learned to write the alphabet A to Z at age 12. That was the biggest challenge. So I was not well equipped with tools and words and phrases to communicate with people. I was communicating with folks in Singapore, Germany, Canada, and the US. So that was the biggest challenge for me in 2002. Luckily, there was a club at Oracle called Toastmasters. I went and I joined the club. I said, I want to improve.
Awesome.
Let's see, go. I went there for about 4 years, 2003 October to 2007. I went there every week for about 90 minutes. All my English speaking skills, writing skills actually comes from Toastmasters experience.
Awesome.
You can call it as a 4-year free college degree in communication and leadership.
Absolutely.
Toward the end of those 4 years, what happened is people came to me naturally and said, hey, I like the way you speak, I like the way you communicate. Can you help me? Can you coach me to write my speech? So what was my struggle became a strength later in 4 years.
Yeah.
I started helping other people for free without any charge. And that opened up a lot of opportunities because I was helping other people. I knew what people go through, what are the challenges, what is mentorship, coaching, helping people grow, challenging them, giving them stretch assignments. All of these things I learned in those 4 years. Naturally, this opened up opportunities at work. My manager kept noticing me. He said, hey, you are really good in these areas. The team is expanding. Would you like to take leadership role? I said, yes, I have the experience. I'm happy to take it because I knew what it takes to lead people. Without that, as an engineer, I would have been scared. But now I had the experience of what it is like to manage people, support them in their growth while executing a common goal. So the natural extension of my experience from my own struggle to speaking and leading, influencing people, became opportunities to grow as a leader in the organization.
So true. Our stories are quite a lot alike. It's interesting. And I applaud you, Mr. Engineer, because engineering is one of those behaviors, characteristics that you like to shut the door or communicate with your computer and not so much with other people. So I applaud you for recognizing that area that you needed to grow in. But you wrote a book. Share the name of your book real quickly.
Yeah, Beyond Your Limits. The book name is Beyond Your Limits.
Very good. And why did you write that book?
So the backstory is I was not a person who enjoyed goal setting. I enjoyed my life. I was overweight. I was about 50 pounds overweight. I'm talking about 2002. I weighed about 200 pounds. And I was exposed to this person called John Goddard, who actually lived in the US. He's lived in California. He is called as the greatest adventurer of the world. He did crazy things like climbing the Mount Everest, Mount Kilimanjaro, crossing the Nile River, kayaking, and so on. I thought, wow, this man is inspiring. He has all these goals. What if I set goals for myself? That evening, back in October 2003, I went home. I wrote 5 simple goals like losing weight, learning to swim, learning martial art, becoming a confident speaker, and so on. I wrote about 5 goals. And in the next 3 years, I achieved most of those goals. So goal setting became a habit in my life. In the book, I talk about 52 goals I've achieved. Things like losing weight, running a marathon in under 4 hours, donating blood 50 times in India and the US. And then ultimately writing a nonfiction book was my goal number 52. So the book talks about you can achieve your own goals over a long horizon of time. In the second section, I talk about a 7-step framework for achieving any goal, business or life goals. And section 3 talks about top 3 mistakes people do in my experience in terms of achieving goals. So it's a very simple book, mostly demonstration, inspiration, less of information, because I don't think the world needs more information. ChatGPT has everything we want. What we need in this world is now demonstration, leading by example, where people look at their own challenges, go behind those challenges and achieve consistently. And through example, we can inspire other people. That is the fundamental premise and the promise of the book.
Awesome. You said several things that I just want to unpack a little bit. I love that you talk about the simple goals, but you gave some bodacious goals as in simple, but then you did talk about the small steps that it took you 5 years to get those simple goals, which I think people needed to really listen to, that it is that compound effect of those little things that you do. You didn't lose all the weight you lost in a week or a month. You know, it was over time. So I love the fact that you talk about that you had 52 goals, but they had to, you know, those were achievable goals that if you had that you were going to go to achieve, go to Mount Everest next year, but you've never taken any long walks. You might not be able to do it right away. So I thought that that was really interesting. But why did you select 52 goals that you selected?
What happened
What did you
was, in my life, I've done more than 52, but I took these 52 because they were significant in terms of effort and time, and
Mhm.
sometimes important, like how important they were to me. Like I talk about one goal in the book called how am I optimizing my metabolic health?
Yeah.
And that has been difficult as well. Being a vegetarian, then vegan, it has been difficult to maintain my own metabolic health. So I talk about how difficult it is to focus and do something, but you have to do every day. It's not in 5 days, as you said, or 7 days, but it's over the long time, how you can optimize your own health. That's one of the goals I talk about in the book.
Awesome. So you have a chapter that says in saying no to TV. Love for you to tell us about that. I know what my journey has been towards that. I am married to a TV holic, but
Yeah, I love this question. I have not watched television since 2003. So from 2003 to 2008, I was single. I did not have any family, so I was okay not watching a television. In 2008, my wife and I got married. Anusha is my wife. I asked her, I never had a television. Could we try this lifestyle for 90 days? She was initially shocked that I don't have a television because she loved television, watching movies, Hindi movies, Bollywood movies. Finally, she said, okay, I will attempt it for 90 days and see what happens. So in those 90 days, every evening we did something together, like going to temples, visiting family, friends, dinner, restaurants, walking in a park, and so on. She really liked that lifestyle. She realized there is so much time for each other. In fact, I jokingly call we are the heroes in our life, not the heroes on a screen. She really liked that aspect of we being together with so much time, and that became a lifestyle for us. So even now, we don't have a television at home. Now, our son is a teenager, 13 years. So of course, he may not like it with his kids, his friends around asking him things like, hey, what show are you watching? What's on Netflix? And so on. We understand that. We are realistically optimistic in this situation. So we watch something on weekends. We have a big screen and a laptop, but we don't have a television or a cable connection. So we control how much we watch, when to watch, and what to watch. Even today, there is no television. We might watch about a couple of hours on weekends, but that's something we watch together as a family time, as a bonding time together. So
that's
essentially, for 21 and a half years, I have not watched television. I have not touched television in my life.
yeah. It's funny. We have big screen televisions, and for me, I prioritize an hour so that I will watch some television. But it's streaming, as you said. I rarely watch even some of the TV shows that I love. I watch them as a stream because I don't have to watch the commercials.
Yes.
And it's so much less time, It's you talked about Bollywood. I love Hallmark movies, the rom-coms or whatever.
Mhm.
But a rom-com could take you 5 hours or something, whereas if you do streaming, it's an hour and a half.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
much better use of my time. So you started Changesmith Coaching, but what does Changesmith mean? Why did you choose that name?
If I look at my own life, as I started the company and looking for names, I look back at my own life. One of the aspects of my life has been always embracing change.
Yeah.
For some reason, I became skilled in changing myself. Just like wordsmith, blacksmith, and goldsmith, I realized my life has been one word is changesmith, somebody who is skilled in changing himself, his behaviors and thoughts and language. So I thought I want my clients to have the same experience, and they can be changesmith. They can change the way they want. So we can change our behaviors and thoughts, and that's how I named the company as Changesmith, to represent that we all can change the way we want. Change is
Yeah.
happening now with new behaviors and new way of thinking.
Absolutely. As you were saying that, I thought, I as a project manager, I always had to embrace and communicate change and help people through that. But I just realized that my personality all my life has really been that way. One of the hardest things when my husband, who I've been married to for 46 years, when we first got married, like every maybe year or 6 months, I would move things around in the living room or the bedroom, or whatever. I needed different. I needed to not have the same. And I think that's kind of in my life as well. Like every so often, I need things to be shaken up, to be different, and so change doesn't scare me as much as I think other people. But I guess it all started as a young girl saying, I think we should move that bed.
Yeah, so you are a changesmith too. I like it.
Yes, I know. I said we have so much in common. It's hilarious to me. So you emphasize a lot on coaching, on how have you really coached the people? Is it are you, as I am, I teach communication coaching as well as leadership. Um, who are the people that you coach, and what do they gain from being under your coaching experience?
Yeah. My audience is primarily folks in the technology field. They can be engineers, engineering managers, product managers. That's my focus area, technology organizations and people in those organizations. My coaching philosophy is very simple. Performance is equal to potential minus interference, which means they have 100% potential, all human beings. And let's see what is the interference. The interference can be personal beliefs, interference can be situational, interference can be organizational. Let's look at what's interfering you to be your best version as a leader, as a contributor, as a person, and see how do we remove those bottlenecks, remove those interference in the next 3 to 6 months. That's my core coaching philosophy. I also have this goal-oriented coaching, which means before we start, we discuss what is the goal for the next 3 or 6 months. Because coaching is done for significant changes in life.
Yeah.
We first paint the picture of what's the future. What do you want to achieve in the next few months or, maybe a year? And then we come back and say, once we know, we begin with the end in mind, we come back and see what can we do in the next few months. So goal-oriented coaching and performance is equal to potential minus interference. These two summarizes my way of helping folks in technology organizations.
Makes perfect sense. So when we think of that, and our theme is leading yourself to lead others, and you've demonstrated how you have done that for yourself, leading yourself. How has this journey really impacted as you take others through their journey? How has your ability to continue to change positively impacted those that you lead?
One thing I've noticed, Vicki, this is about 18 months now, full-time into coaching, writing a book, and creating online courses. I have realized that a lot of people like working with me because of the word called integrity. Anything I say in my coaching sessions, any challenge we discuss, I always bring my personal example. What am I doing? How are things working for me? To relate with people and say, nobody has arrived. We are always arriving. We are always becoming. But we have never arrived.
Yeah.
So this actually grounds people and say, yes, everybody has to go through the process. It is a never-ending process. We are constantly becoming, changing. We are verbs. We are not nouns.
I love that.
So this is the embodiment I bring in my coaching and say, look, we are always changing. We are always moving along on the line of life. This grounds people and say, yes, this person has high integrity. He knows what he's talking about. He is not preaching anything here. There's a big difference between being a preacher versus practitioner. Practitioner is always doing things, learning and changing. And that is the biggest factor my clients get when work with me, because I am constantly sharing my personal experience and how things are working with me during these coaching sessions, maybe a couple of minutes here and there. They can relate with my own challenges, how I am tackling these challenges, how I work with my coaches. Because if I don't have a coach, most likely my clients may not like working with me, because if you don't have a coach, how can you coach me? It starts from there. I have a coach, And when I work with them, I keep bringing my stories with my coach, how I am accountable, how I work with my coach, how do I plan my sessions, what challenges I address with them. This helps them lead by example.
So you, for your book, you mentioned that it's really sort of almost interactive. What do you want your readers to do after reading not just the whole book, but as you go from chapter to chapter, what do you want them to have as their practice to make sure that they get all of the richness, all of the wisdom to be able to change as they progress through your book? Not like, oh, I'm going to read it and then I'm going to do stuff, but as you go.
Yes. If you look at the book is structured in a way that every chapter is a short story and ends with a couple of reflection questions. Each chapter has got two things. You can increase your awareness through the inspiring story that I have from my own life, and some awareness on those reflection questions. Each chapter has two open-ended questions to reflect on your goals.
Mm.
And the next step for each chapter is, what action can you take?
Yeah.
So as they go through the book, by the end of the book or somewhere in the middle, they already have a clear list of their goals. I want to get at least 5 goals by the end of the book. I want all readers to have 5 goals for themselves that they want to achieve, big or small, that they have to define, not me as an author. And if they can achieve those goals that they list in the next 3 to 5 years, that is the best thing I can offer as an author.
Nice.
Find
Yeah.
their goals and achieve them in the next 3 to 5 years.
So we have talked about a lot, and you talk about in your book that we can all achieve growth, happiness, and meaning with our goals. And there may be some people out there and saying, oh no, I can't do that. But why do you think that it is possible for everyone to achieve growth, happiness, and the meaning whenever they get those goals that you did outlined that they're going to achieve in the next 3 to 5 years?
There is a lot of empirical evidence on this. In fact, researcher Sonia Lyubomirsky wrote several books. One of her books is The How of Happiness. The How of Happiness. In that book, she mentions 40% of our happiness is in our control. The rest 60% depends on so many factors, your genetics, the way of thinking, and so on. But 40% of happiness is in your control. She also has a quote in the book called, "Happy people have projects." You can say happy people have goals, in other words.
Yeah.
I have seen this many, many times in my life, 21 years. I have seen this in many of my clients at the moment they have a worthy goal to achieve. Now you define the worthy goal. It can be as simple as losing weight, being more kind to your friends and family, becoming a speaker, becoming more confident, becoming assertive, running a half marathon or full marathon. You define those worthy goals. The moment you have those goals and you pursue those goals, you are happier already, because those are intrinsic goals. They are not to please other people. They are to please your own person inside you, the best version inside you. So there is a lot of empirical evidence already there, but I don't present in the book because the book is all about demonstration. The best way to learn about this is you take a simple goal in the next few weeks and start working toward that goal. In the next 2 weeks, you will realize that your happiness will be at a higher state because you are doing something you love doing. You are chasing a goal that is meaningful to you. You're no longer running other people's race plan. You're racing your own plan.
Very good. Well, time has flown by. It's time now for me to share my slide that has contact information for Pramoda. And if you are just listening, you should have been taking notes all along, but go quickly, run and get a paper pencil or something so that you can get the website. Of course, everything will be on my Vicki Noethling YouTube channel in the show notes, as well as my findyourleadershipconfidence.com website. So for those that are just listening, the website is changesmith.me. That's changesmith.me. Facebook is his name, Pramoda Vyasarao. So that's Vyasarao. Lots of A's there. And the LinkedIn is again his name. For those of you that want to be able to connect with Pramoda, we're going to let him tell you what you can find on his website, changesmith.me, as well as anything that you might find when you're on that website, any links, any special resources, and where he spends the most time in the social media space. So I'm going to turn it over to Pramoda right now to share that information with you.
Thank you, Vicki. For folks who are watching this, visit my website, changesmith.me. It has all the information you want about my digital courses, my live cohort courses, my book, and my one-to-one coaching. I also post a lot of content on LinkedIn, Monday through Friday, every day, 8 a.m. Pacific time. I share a piece of content on communication, storytelling, goal setting, and leadership. You can download the PDFs I post on LinkedIn. And lastly, you can get a free copy of my audiobook by going to that link, changesmith.me/audio. You can download the audiobook. It is professionally recorded, 5.5 hours of audio. You can listen to the audiobook to get more details on what the book is all about and listen to the whole book. Thank you, Vicki.
And we didn't really talk about your courses. How many courses do you have out there?
Right now, I've got 3 courses, one on effective communication for engineers. The second one is on storytelling for engineers. The third one is on building professional slides for business presentations. The fourth one is coming next month, October, which is based on my book called Beyond Your Limits.
Excellent. So we have learned a lot about you and what you do. Thank you for sharing that information about your book and your courses. I hope and encourage the audience to go out to that website, changesmith.me, to be able to get the information and also to get that book. And as always, thanks for being such a wonderful guest and sharing some time with a fellow Toastmaster.
Thank you, Vicki. I really enjoyed the discussion. Thank you so much.
And as always, I remind everyone that life is a journey, and it's up to you to enjoy the ride. This is Vicki Noethling signing off.
Thank you for tuning into the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling, where we share impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Remember to visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast.